I'm lightheaded now, guys. Welcome back to another video. That's right, I have a cool horror camera angle now. It seems like every week something else happens. Someone's getting exposed, someone's getting canceled, someone's apologizing for something with a guitar or a ukulele or some shit, or most likely all three of those things are happening simultaneously, because they just tend to happen simultaneously. I don't make the rules. This has become the case for a man named Tall Knight. This fellow has had quite a storied journey on social media over the last while. The past few months, his career has taken so many twists and turns in life, and they've all been documented on his page. I've had a lot of people reach out and asked for me to cover this situation, and I finally think it's time. So who exactly is Tall Knight? Tall Knight is a fellow named Elijah, a TikToker primarily who wears a Crusader helmet, basically just like Swagger Souls. I mean, just like he's just Swagger Souls essentially, but like more cringe or something. I really don't know because he's a TikToker. I don't really know the guy. So my guy has 1.5 million followers on TikTok, which is like having 50K on YouTube basically. TikTok is so easy, dude. But his content is good. I mean, his content was celebrating small victories in life. It was about sort of men's mental health, which is cool. Mental well-being just in general. That's awesome. Tall Knight documented his prior battles with depression and mental illness, and he tried to use that experience to help others with their struggles as well, which that's cool. For example, he got cheated on by his girlfriend. He dealt with sewer slide thoughts. He was even taken to a mental health facility, which is, man, that happens. That happens a lot. I know somebody that happened to recently. Sorry, it's not funny. I shouldn't be laughing, but it is kind of funny to look at the camp. And it's not even, I'm not 6. You guys aren't 8. You know, this is not. So all was well, and then some drama began with Tall Knight when he was kicked out of his house and became homeless. During this explosion, he met a girl. They started seeing each other. She became his girlfriend. They were long distance though, so he brought her out to visit him during the time. So what led to him being kicked out? It seems like a crazy situation. He met a girl, and then the girl came out to visit him. He brought her out, and then he was kicked out and sent to the street because of this. I don't know the full context, but I'm not so sure about it. This leads Elijah, or Tall Knight, to ask for help from his followers, and he says that he would never do this unless he was genuinely struggling. And it's possible for someone to be struggling. 1.5 million followers on TikTok is not enough to have a career or make a lot of money. That's very bad. I have 1 million, and I don't have any money at all on TikTok. I mean, I'm very wealthy otherwise. But let's see. I mean, I have 972,000 followers. Oh, there's a severe pain inside of me. Is this the end? Is this the end right now? There's a severe pain like right here. Ouch. Ow. 0. Yeah, 0. I made no money. So yeah, it's tough making money on TikTok is just not feasible. So this guy was trying to help people basically, and then when he needed help, he asked for help from the people that he was helping. Okay, even if it's just a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly, e-bagging is fine. It's easily justifiable in a lot of different circumstances. This makes more sense than just giving a random streamer money, to be honest. This man raised $15,000 and essentially begged people to stop giving him money because he has enough. Now,
oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm shaking. It's been an hour. An hour.
And this happened in less than an hour, which is a lot of money. And if you guys want to send some of that support my way, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's not even, I just look really like shitty right now. I'm sorry. I'm very greedy and I have no self-control. The man was able to find a place to sleep in a friend's basement. Therefore, he was safe until the landlord spoke out. And we get the Tall Knight scammer arc. I'm not saying this fellow's a scammer, but this is where the allegations of him being a scammer begin. So after the whole drama of him gathering donations after being kicked out, the landlord who kicked him out made a video on his rentoid and stated that he violated their trust, therefore he was kicked out because he brought this random woman in there.
Now, the incident in question happened because he decided that it was in his prerogative to fly up a girl from out of state to stay in my house with my children and me and my wife without asking first. That was the first red flag that I was upset about.
The landlord was upset that Elijah flew a girl in out of state without asking him or his wife. He just like lives with a wife and husband, and he brought this random girl in. There was another red flag for this guy, intimate and unchristian-like behavior, which is, this guy's super, I mean, he wears a fucking Crusader helmet, as you could probably tell. He wears it because he's Christian, not just because he wants to hide his face, like Swagger Souls, I think. That's a little, I mean, that's kind of weird. I feel like the Crusades were not that good, in all honesty. I wasn't really around then, but they seem bad. He also compounded this unchristian-like behavior and said he was behaving this way around his children, which that's kind of weird. So basically, living in a house, there's kids, wife, husband, premarital sex, fly in random woman from out of town, you get kicked out. The landlord also said that his rentoid was faking the homelessness and had until March to get his shit in order. So he had a bit of time. I mean, that's fine.
So later that night, my wife came to, check on them. This is our house, make sure our rules were being followed. And they were being very intimate, displaying very unchristian-like values in my house with my children. He was not homeless. He was not kicked out. He had to leave and the girl could not return. But he paid until March and was here until March.
He then also emphasizes how could he be broke if he flew a girl in? So he just said it was a sham. It was just not real. That makes sense. Flights are pretty expensive, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Like, they're not that expensive. Not as expensive as rent. Landlord then says he was going to let it all go, but he couldn't stay silent because Elijah, or Tall Knight, was scamming his audience. That's something we fucking love on this channel. Sorry, that's very unchristian-like behavior. I have fucking something wrong with me, dude. I just can't control myself. I can't control the things that come out of my mouth or and my left eye sometimes. It just kind of goes where it wants. Now, Tall Knight obviously ain't gonna let this shit slide from his landlord. As a rentoid, he had to respond. This man decides to respond to the accusations with a video of himself with no shirt on, which is really weird. Very strange. He says all the proof is on his Discord, completely unbiased on his Discord in one of the channels.
This is the last time I'm going to acknowledge it and the last time I'm going to say anything about it. All the proof you need, all the story about it, the full story, completely unbiased. I say lots of stuff that embarrasses me, that exposes me for some embarrassing things I did. The whole story is in my Discord.
It seems it's slightly like a shill for just the Discord to go sub to that, which is pretty funny, honestly. But he did have a thread dedicated to the drama. He starts off by letting people know exactly what the drama is about because there's no way his whole audience saw the video of his landlord accusing him. He gives some context on the girl that he flew in, says that it was a long-distance relationship. He says that he brought her back home to his apartment. And he said the cost of the room was $450 a month, and he also says that it was the size of a closet. Sounds like a hellhole, dude. Sounds terrible, bro. And $450, if it is the size of a closet, that seems like a terrible deal. I know apartments aren't cheap, but like less than studio size, that just does, I mean, that's wild. Then we get some background on who he's renting this from. Who is the master of this poor, sad rentoid? His sister and her husband. His brother-in-law is the landlord. Oh my God, dude. Familial drama. What the Now, this is where shit starts to get really confusing and weird to me. Like, this is just crazy. Now, to be clear, my older sister had walked in on me and my girlfriend the night before, calling on Discord. She needed me to do the usual favor of escorting her and her child to his house with our grandparents because my sister is not allowed around minors without adult supervision. There was an incident about 2 years ago at a daycare she used to own which resulted in the baby being put into a coma because of what she did. What? And then there's main child care provider charge after 19-month-old. Oh my God. Oh. That just throws the whole thing in a different direction. The sister walks in on them on Discord or something, and she needs him to escort her and her child to the grandparents because she's not allowed. That's very strange. A quick rundown on what happened to the baby. She swaddled it very tightly, wrapped it up into an extremely tight burrito, and then the child suffered asphyxia, lack of oxygen, no breathing. I don't know why anyone would ever fucking do that. And the baby was in the hospital for several weeks, and then it recovered. Very fucked up situation. Then apparently the sister knew that the girlfriend was coming over and then acted outraged after work as if Elijah had betrayed his sister's trust, as if she didn't, know that a girl was coming over. A lot of emojis here. Corny, I know. Oh my God. Cuddling. Hee hee. She then starts interrogating the random girl. asking for her name, asking where she's from, and, you know, standard questions whenever you're a Christian person, I guess. Asking who you voted for. Who'd you vote for?
If you didn't vote for Trump, I'm gonna hurt you. If you didn't vote for Trump, what'd you think of Trump's new mugshot?
Bruh.
I think he looks fucking sexy as shit. He's on some sexy shit right now, dude. That guy is hot. It's very bizarre to ask someone who you just met who they voted for. It's even more strange to like let that be a determining factor on how you treat someone, or whether or not they're allowed to be around. That's so just mind-bogglingly dumb to me. And I would have lashed out if I was Elijah, but I didn't. I'm not him, fortunately. This sister apparently really doesn't like blue gay peoples as well, on top of the blue people, and she apparently had a pretty rough past in terms of treatment for the other siblings. For instance, she cut contact with her older brother because he voted blue, and then cut contact with younger sister because she's gay. And now she's mad because this guy who lives in her house, or her husband's house, is blinking in a room that he pays rent for silently. I really don't know, dude. Very strange. And then it gets really weird because the landlord mentioned that he was doing inappropriate things around the children. He didn't like that. But then he says that the landlord talks to his wife about mommy and daddy's special game, and they're the only ones that can be in the room when they play it, which is just a really weird way to say, please leave. Me and mommy are about to play 2K23 Backshots Edition. All right. Tall Knight then claims that they love to have very loud copulation moments, or whatever you might want to call it. I really don't want to get this video demonetized. I feel like we're really getting into the weeds here. He says that it didn't matter if the kids were home, around, in the room, near them, they would just be loud. Similar to that, I assume. He also claimed that they had a bunch of adult items that they would just leave around in the sink in the house. For him, by the way, not even for her, for him. And Tall Knight seems to be angered that they're triggered by his seemingly normal relationship when apparently they have this insane. So this is the arc, right? It just gets this crazy. They're calling each other out, and then he's exposing them on Discord. And I cannot imagine this is a good way to have a happy family during Thanksgiving. It is fucking funny though. Oh my god.
And my sister isn't the one who takes it in the ass. Dead ass, dead ass, dead ass.
One moment. He then gets to the exact story as to when they got kicked out. He's got the girl. They're embraced, if you know what I'm saying. They get walked in on. Get out! Permanently. That's what it is. That's what he says. They said they're very ashamed, embarrassed, and then also laughing. It's weird. He apparently also didn't know that she was serious, and then she kind of like doubled down, and then he said he was sorry, and he said, I wouldn't do it again, and then he just like, it's cold outside and stuff. It's in fucking Maine, so it's, you know, massive shithole, but just kidding. Maine is beautiful. I love it. I can't believe I just said that. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Look at this. Look at this little guy. Little monkey. Little guy. Anyways, so he has a bit of a begging session with his sister. Please, please let me stay. Please let me stay. Then the woman says his girlfriend is a and shouldn't open her legs to a stranger, and then he's gonna become homeless. I don't really know, dude. It's so weird. He also got kicked out of the church as well, man. Shoo! This is starting to sound like a cult. And it ends by him saying he's staying at a hotel. So the scam allegation is that he had nowhere to stay and he needed money to find somewhere to stay. And then the landlord said that he had somewhere to stay until March. He needed to get out and that he was not kicked out. I don't know, dude. It was a little bit of time too. Not a lot of time. It was only like a week. It was just a few days. So shit hits the fan. He says he only has $471 to his name as of his bank statement, February 19th. I mean, it doesn't seem like a scam. This is where people kind of got mad, but there's more, obviously. In my opinion, this is very clearly he's not a scammer. I don't know why people would say he's a scammer in this instance. He just asked for help. He even sent money back, which is crazy. He was very transparent in this entire thing, and it was good. It's bullshit from both sides, people being stupid, whatever, I don't really know. But at the end of the day, the audience came together to make Tall Knight happy. Now, this is like the least petty of all the stuff that's happened. It gets fucking so much worse, dude. The scam arc's fun and jovial and kind of cool. May I now interest you in the transphobe arc? Could have seen that one coming. The Tall Knight transphobe arc began when Tall Knight misgendered a musical artist, not accidentally, but on purpose, out of spite due to him not liking the person's music. He claims it was because of his faith. Could have seen that coming. He then apologizes for it, but it sort of, the whole thing comes off more like, I'm sorry you're offended, by the way.
And then I misgendered them in the comments. And yes, I will admit, it was in a derogatory manner. It was an insult because I didn't like the person's music. Yeah. So, for that, I apologize. That was wrong of me.
Liberal! You frickin' stupid liberal! What are you? Respectful of someone else's decisions?
You freak! It's just really shocking because his content is sort of dedicated to including people of all types and then just having sort of good vibes only thing, but apparently not if you're trans, so that's not cool. He believes in his words that God created you perfectly just the way you are, which isn't really an issue if it isn't being used to defend yourself. I mean, that's perfectly fine to say and believe. It makes sense, right? Okay, everyone's created in an equal way and should be treated equally and treat each other equally. He even made a TikTok about the situation, and it just sort of feels backhanded, as if he just treated the entire situation like a joke. And by the way, I'm not like, you know, this isn't grounds for total annihilation of someone's career, obviously, and being canceled. But this is something that the internet obviously cares very much about. We don't have to agree politically to love each other and be friends. I do agree. Please respect my religion. I still care about you guys, and you'll always have a rightful, welcome place in my community. Hashtag no premarital sex, though. I think the drama would have ended if it was a proper apology, but he kind of said, he's like very backhanded. It's just so weird, dude. Then, out of nowhere, a random fan says, I'm so tired of all the drama Tall Night. It seems like you are focusing on the wrong thing right now. Have you forgotten already what your task was? The task that you assigned yourself to make people smile, to make people happy, making positive vibes videos, all of it forgotten, as if it never existed. Don't you realize what most of your fans are begging for? They want posting vibes Tall Night. They don't care, want to see poop and posting vibes. It's all about the vibes, dude. This really toppled our boy Tall Night over to his knees. He forgot. He forgot he was the main character of the positive vibes only anime. So, he made a proper apology. All parties involved unanimously agreed to drop the drama. And then he said, please don't leave hate comments. I'm tired. I feel like it's easy to just apologize and move on. The internet is a place you don't have to take a stand all the time. You can just make stuff that makes people happy. That's just kind of like that's the right vibe, it seems like. And it seems like that's the way that it ended for Tall Night. But it actually didn't. There's still more, dude. There's still more. What the the doxing a pedo arc now. This drama begins with a man by the name of Bryce Witchy, a goober who made a video about zoophilia being brought to the ClearNet and wanting CP brought to the ClearNet as well.
We will start adding zoophile sites to Saucy soon because on the ClearNet, but until CP gets off the darknet and goes to the ClearNet, we can't add it to Saucy because there's no way to get it to the ClearNet.
That is very disgusting, and it seems like a troll because there's no one could be serious about, like, no one could be this just blatantly evil and insane, could they? No, it's not a troll. There are people who are fucking so dumb and worthless, bro.
What's wrong with you?
In a now deleted video, Tall Night talks about who Bryce is and gives some context in the situation. In the video, Tall Night says that the man had harassed and hit on his now ex-girlfriend before he was in a relationship and when she was a minor. He even created a website called Potential Girlfriends, which had a long list of names of girls who were mostly underage and links to their Facebooks. This person is close to the age of 27, by the way, and is interacting and talking to children and about children in this manner. That's very strange. This is when the problem sort of arose. People got mad at Tall Night for weaponizing his audience and telling them to weaponize or unionize to do whatever they want with the information that he was giving them. He then links this person's Instagram and TikTok. He then states the police won't do anything about it, and by God, don't we know that vigilantism is always good, man. It's always good. So instead of Tall Night doing anything about it, he galvanizes his audience into into a special forces unit, the likes of which the world has never seen. He says that this man has been getting away with it for over a decade. He even says that he'd beat the shit out of him if he knew where he lived. Well, then, after this, he found out where he lived, doxed him. He then visited his house, and someone made a savage edit of this. Check this out. Dude, I fucking love the internet. Oh my God. When he pulled up, the police were called by the 27-year-old man, Bryce's mother, and he was like, yeah, and then they let him go. Okay. Tall Knight insinuates that the police knew about Bryce, didn't do anything, and also just let him go, which I'm not sure you can go to visit someone's home and then just like, I like if someone came and did that to me, there would be some kind of problem with that. That would be bad. That would be not good at all. There would be a sword fight in my front yard. And by sword, I mean my... So for this arc for our boy Tall Knight, I'm not really sure how this is a cancelable one. I'm kind of on his side here. You know, I feel like vigilantism almost never works out well. And I definitely don't think anyone should be a vigilante and put themselves in danger, etc. But also at the same time, this is the least cringe of the arcs. Let's be real. This is the least cringe of the arcs. But this is also where it gets super ironic and we go into a worse arc. The pedo groomer arc. By the way, a little bit of a twist at the end for this part, so keep watching, keep watching. This is not me saying that that's true, by the way, pedo/groomer, but apparently, according to the internet, this man has gone the way of Paul Breach. There are a lot of people that want you to believe that. It's murky water here. We do know Tall Knight's account got banned, and the 1.6 million followers and 2 years worth of videos that he had were deleted. Why did this happen? Well, because there were allegations that he was a pedophile and/or groomer. And all this started right after the doxing stuff with the other guy. It involves Tall Knight's Patreon and selling nudes on there. My boy decided to treat Patreon like an OnlyFans account. Now, I don't know a lot about Christianity, but I don't think you're supposed to show people your or nudes or whimpering audios. I mean that's pretty funny, but I don't think this fits though. By the way, he promoted his Patreon as a workout routine on a link tree that when you clicked, there was no age gate. It just went directly to bad content that children, so these kids are like looking up. So important context. This right here, this join and these perks were allegedly available before there was an age requirement to view his page. And the dude had a lot of underage fans that were subscribed and saw the pictures before he removed them. The page does have an age requirement now, fortunately. And Tall Knight obviously has a response to this. And this is one of the most strange things I've seen on the internet in quite a while, by the way. These different arcs are fucking ridiculous, man. All the while, this guy's got a Crusader helmet on. This man just says it's a lie. He says he doesn't have any adult content on there. He also says it's because it's against the rules for Patreon to sell that kind of content on the site, on anyone's Patreon.
So to put it simply, there is no NSFW content on my Patreon. And that's for one very simple reason. Patreon does not allow NSFW content. And the only reason these tiers exist there is because I was originally going to post it there. Why? Because Patreon only takes 12% of your income, whereas OnlyFans takes 20%. So the only reason those tiers are there is because I was originally going to post stuff, and they were only up for maybe 2 or 3 days several weeks ago.
Then he does say that he did have pictures and videos on there, but deleted them after a few days because they violated TOS. So it's not a lie, it's true, but it's just not true now. They're not up there now. And he said he only wanted to do it on Patreon because they take a 12% cut compared to the 20% from OnlyFans. Yeah. Dude, very, very, very bad stuff. Very strange. The NSFW tiers are now deleted from his Patreon, by the way, if you go visit it. So there's nothing wrong with work, and there's nothing wrong with just being a dude and just jacking off on video or whatever, or just squirting, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Am I gonna watch it? Probably not. But when you start off as someone who has like a child audience on TikTok, because that's what that's what TikTok consists of, is children, and you can't deny that. That's generally true. And then you kind of swivel from your big following on TikTok to posting OnlyFans randomly just to make money. And there's a lot of underage people that follow you on Twitter and Patreon, and you just kind of post stuff. It's really, really, really strange. It's an area of gray. Is it advertent? Is it completely wrong? I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, Tall Knight thinks the reason all this went bad is because he called a girl cute and then he learned that she was 16 or 17.
A while back, I called a girl cute and it turned out that she was 17 and everyone started calling me a file. I started getting hundreds of death threats on Instagram. People started stitching and duetting and flooding my comments saying that I like kids. And no one even bothered to ask how old I am. I'm 19. I'm fresh out of high school. I graduated last year. The girl that I complimented is less than 2 years younger than me.
That's kind of crazy, right? That's kind of crazy to lose your entire career over something that is a pretty obvious accident. He says that as soon as this happened, he started getting canceled and was getting death threats. He also says that no one asked how old he is, and he said that he's 19 years old and only graduated high school last year, and she's only 2 years younger than him, and there's Romeo and Juliet laws where he lives anyways, which I don't fucking know what the hell that even means, dude. I don't even want to think about this, really. He also insists that he just called her cute, like a throwaway comment. It wasn't to be taken seriously. He gets really angry in the video and says that he lost his ability to pay rent and lost an ability to make a living because of lies that are being spread about him. He starts asking for help again in the video, and he says he's worried he's going to end up homeless again. So we're going to start the cycle back to the scam arc again. He then says that he didn't know what her age was because her age was not in her bio. She said she was 12.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I finally had everything. I finally had enough money, barely enough money, to not go back to fast food, to finally live the life that I've been working towards. Like, to put it into perspective, I mean barely. I had just enough money to move in. I don't have furniture. My laundry sits on the ground. I sleep there. This is literally all I was able to bring with me.
And he does luckily know that he was wrong to not thoroughly investigate a person, making sure to not call someone who is a minor something that you shouldn't say. So you just should do a little bit more research before you're like publicly saying shit like that, right? It's fine to make a mistake, whatever. Oh well. And now the situation got mentioned on Charlie's stream, and I believe that that Critical will make a video about this. So I'm trying to do it early, but I won't be able to because his videos are just like masterpieces in brevity. And I'm a big fat fought-loving dipsit. This is where it's kind of funny because he says that he will base his entire decision on what he does next on Charlie. He will either be vindicated or he will hang up his proverbial cape, depending on what God says. Jesus Christ, the savior of man.
If he looks into this, he hears their argument and he hears my side, and if he says, buddy, you're wrong about this, it's time to hang up the cape.
Moist Critical's final statement will determine if his place on the internet is either saved or destroyed. That is so fucking funny. What about my opinion, bro? I feel like there's a way back from this. This doesn't seem all bad. There's more, though. Hold on, guys. Before you pitchfork me in my asshole, Tall Knight's main critics say that he has an apparent history of grooming and interactions with very underage fans. And they are saying that he's acknowledging the least problematic example and ignoring the more egregious examples, or just belittling the situation, which, you know, non sequitur, straw man, logical fallacy, it's possible. It's possible the man is very religious. Or is he? I don't even know what's going on anymore. This doesn't seem very Christian to me. I know a lot of Christians and I love a lot of Christian people, and they don't, I've never seen this happen. In one video, a fan commented, "I want to see it grow," assumingly referring to his ween. I really don't know. And then he responded with a thirst trap dance, which is incredibly cringe. And it's a bad look because that's a pretty young person. It's a bad look. What Tall Knight's saying, if you take it at face value from his response, whatever, it doesn't seem that bad. But then you look into it and it's like the combination of all these things, the man interacting with people in comments about his spicy content, he's interacting with children, his child audience, he's trying to like funnel children into a big complex, the TikTok underage. No, I can't say any of that. It's bad, though. You shouldn't be doing that. You should not be doing that. This is very inappropriate behavior, in my opinion. When all the pieces are put together, it seems very, 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 very bad, bro. Come on, dude. You can't do that. I mean, look at these different examples in this video.
Yeah, I got banned because of this.
I got banned
You were banned
because of this
you were
one simple
marketing
reason.
your
This is an
adult
incredibly
content to your
handsome man,
child
by the
fan
way.
base on TikTok. Like this video
That's
where
not
you
good.
dance provocatively to a spicy song after one of your fans said they want to see it grow.
Weird.
And when you take 2 seconds to look at the girl who commented that, she is very clearly 15 years old. And when people who were concerned about this confronted you, you wouldn't even take down the video.
Bad.
Like this video where you announced you are now making adult content, and this fan of yours is really excited, and look, you commented back to her. And again, 2 seconds
Nice.
to click the profile, she is 13 years old. And you see that link at the top that says My Workout Routine? Yeah, that goes to his Patreon, where for $5 a month you
wow.
can get his workout routine, or for just $2.50 more, you can look at his lewd photos and videos without needing to verify your age at all.
Yeah, I don't think this man's going to be posting a lot after if Critical even decides to make a video on this. In my opinion, it's all just a bunch of big mistakes. Dude is obviously incredibly mature. He makes very cringe stuff. Started off good, started to get a little weird, and then, like, you know, imagine the Crusader at Sisyphus. It's never gonna work out, man. It's never gonna work out. One thing to take away from this is I would recommend not marketing your to children, and then people probably won't have a problem, to be honest. Bro had some good messages to help the youth, but he has fallen from grace. The Crusades are over.